All right, everybody. Happy Friday. Hope everybody had a great week. I have added a subscribe button on the bottom right of the screen, as well as at the end, there is an end clip. And these are things that I just learned today. So I put them on, and so we're getting advanced over here. All right, so let's dive into everything today. So the target here for Dow Jones was set around here, this line, first target. And the way that, if you've been watching these videos consistently, but the way that you would know this, but the way that I trade is I don't go right up to the line, right up to where I think my price target is. I do somewhere around there, and then I get out. So I closed out the Dow Jones call options, and those were the December 20th $33 call. Oh shoot, no, that's the wrong ones. Dow Jones, December 20th, $425 strike price. I got those for $775, and I sold them for $19.05, which is a gain of 146%. So I'm very happy with that gain. The fill on these was pretty crap. Feel like I could have eked out another 15 or so, but nonetheless, still good. I am still in, so then let's go over the positions that I'm still in. I'm still in XLF, and let's look at, why. So Berkshire Hathaway is the largest holding in that fund. I mean, this looks really good. JP Morgan is, some sort of consolidation is occurring. Looks like kind of normal consolidation, nothing for alarm. I mean, Goldman Sachs, just the strength here. I mean, it's got to be like, what, 1% off of its, all-time highs or something like that after being up 13%, So there really isn't much selling going on. And then you have Visa at an all-time high. Well, I guess it closed a little bit below, but whatever. Visa, MasterCard, those look great. And I wonder what other banks are in that fund? Is Wells Fargo in that, or is it Bank of America? Anyways, let's look at this. So this looks, good. What is Bank BAC? It's right into resistance. Wow, is Bank of America lagging? So that's why I'm still in XLF. Now, going back to Dow Jones here, I really like Dow Jones Industrial Average. Which I realize is kind of a strange thing to say, but there's a couple reasons as to why. Number one, the options market doesn't price in as much volatility for Dow Jones as it does for the other indexes. So when you get a strong move, the price of that option will increase more so than another index. So in the case of this massive move, right? I mean, the price of the option, increased substantially. And then another reason is I really like the companies that overall that are in Dow Jones. And, I know there's only 30, but off the top of my head, I can only think of a handful right now. But regardless, those are all, great companies like Amgen, Caterpillar, Goldman Sachs. NVIDIA is going to be listed in Dow Jones. They're taking out Intel and putting in Is it Intel? I'm putting in NVIDIA, right? So, I mean, you've got... Oh, no. Intel. Yeah, I mean... United Health. So, anyways, those are the reasons as to why I like it. And United Health is, at an all-time high. And United Health is the largest holding for Dow Jones. So, this Dow Jones average only has what I would assume would be, lots of room to run. Especially if United Health can continue to move out, because I mean, you see, this is on heavy volume, a new all-time high after what appears to be this massive base. What is this, a 2-year base? Yeah. So you have a 2-year base, gaps up and is at all-time highs on heavy volume. I mean, that's a powerful looking chart, right? That's a very strong signal. Dang, I guess this was even longer than 2 years. Anyways, regardless, doesn't matter. Long time base, powerful move to all-time highs. You've got NVIDIA coming into this average, Goldman Sachs, Train, Caterpillar. That looks great. I don't know if Train's in there. I think Caterpillar is. Anyways, regardless, great companies. Okay, so that's just a little rant there. Okay. Now moving on. What else am I in? I'm in still that 2x leveraged Bitcoin fund. There's no sense in going over that fund itself, but we can talk about the chart for Bitcoin. Still looks great. This could come down or go sideways. I would prefer one of those, either go down or stay sideways, and preferably go down on weak volume, which indicates there's not much selling. It's just kind of less demand, right? But not much selling. It'll give the moving averages a chance to catch up. Now, this looks pretty extended over the 50-day moving average. So I wouldn't be surprised pull back or whatever. Like I said, I mean, if it's going to really keep rocketing from here, you can expect the pullback to be a lot nastier. And it's just easier if the pullbacks aren't as nasty, and it is Bitcoin, right? So the pullbacks can be multiple percentage, and I'm in a 2x fund, so so the volatility is doubled. So now let's go over to BitX. $32.37 is the cost basis, $39.33. I added to that today, some more today, is, just by a couple percentage points. I wanted to catch a move into the weekend because sometimes Bitcoin will rally over the weekend, but that was it. If I was trying to be real precise with that entry point or starting a new position, I would not have done that here, Again, I force money into winners. That's what works. That's what has worked for me, and people a bajillion times better than me. That's what all the greatest traders do. So that's what I do as well. So we're gonna go now. I'm still in those call options in BitX. December 20th, that was a $33 strike price, $5.30. Those are currently $8.70. So that's working out nicely. There's something. Oh yeah, so Bitcoin. So Senator Cynthia Lummis has been floating around this idea of having a Bitcoin strategic reserve. and clearly the U.S. should. Uh, her plan also can cut the deficit in half. Now, I haven't done any research onto that, but that's what she's claiming. And if that's the case, that would be just so good. It would be amazing. You have an entire country of El Salvador that went from being the murder capital of the world, horrible place, mass amounts of gang violence. They adopt Bitcoin. They get as legal tender. They get attacked nonstop by the mainstream media, which is how you know what they're doing is probably good and actually working. So they get attacked nonstop. They're one of the safest places in the entire world. They've paid off their debt, and I've seen videos of all these Salvadorians that are coming back into that country that had to run from gang violence and whatever, and they're crying, and it's just how amazing it is, So I just it's just awesome to see that, and Bitcoin represents hope to me, and it's amazing to see it actually play out in a country that you couldn't really get any worse, and now you can't really get much better. I mean, that's remarkable. It's remarkable, and clearly it's not just Bitcoin that did that. There's other policies, obviously. But, so I think it would be sweet if the U.S. did that. I mean, shoot, why not? Now, if the U.S. does that, clearly that would help the price of Bitcoin. So for people that are holding Bitcoin, that would be one of the upsides, but not the main upside. That's I think the main upside is more of the it's just to make the country better. So let's move on to other positions. NVIDIA. Still in NVIDIA. I'm not going to sell this at anytime soon, that's for sure. But anyways, this $125.19 is the average cost, and it's still ripping. The TQQQs, I'm in those, but let's just go over to NASDAQ here. I was expecting another solid up day, but the fact that it did not and is just kind of flat is pretty good. So anyways, those are December 13. I have debit spreads on December 13. $80 is the long call, $90 is the short call. That's $4.43. Those are essentially flat. Right now, it's basically flat. Then the other ones are January 7th. January 17. Expiration $84. So we'll just go over. $6.70 is what I paid, and those are at $6.45. Now, XLF, I'm still in those. Did I mention that? Still in XLF. I think I did. But anyways, January 17 expiration, $45 strike price. Those are $2.88. That's what I paid. Those are $4.72. So I have a nice cushion in those, and like I said, I believe this will continue higher. So anything over 50-ish, I'll look to get out. Depending on how Berkshire Hathaway and the rest are looking, but yeah, kind of anything over 50. So that's it. I mean, this was a great week. I think that's it. Oh yeah. this still is cannabis one. Like I said, risk to reward super simple here. So if this goes down for another day, I'm out. It's totally out. The $5.12 is the average price that I'm in on these. It's a starter position. I won't put on a full position right away. I scale in. So yeah, this goes down, I'm out. But I'm going to pay attention to how it closes, though. I probably won't just dump it all. If it does make a new low, and the reason is we'll see if that's sort of a bear trap and gets bought. And if it does get bought and moves back up, I'll add to this position. So that's the plan with that. Now let's go over. Great week. I definitely wanted to lock in profits. This is a week that's completely rare. I wanted to keep emotions in check, not be greedy. Made some good trades and closed the week out good. So that's what I did. Now, there were a couple mistakes. The mistake of gold. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't gold. Copper and silver. So we got to learn from that and get better. Every week there's mistakes. As much as I do, get better and better, right? So then let's look at oil today. So oil was down, and this will be a pretty good short. I believe. So this will probably be, I have a couple themes. I got to write this down before I forget. I got to do these things in the moment. I have a couple different themes here moving into the future. Short oil is one of them. Now is not the time. But it could be very soon. And I think that could be a theme moving into the future. The other theme, biotech, and all the normal ones that everybody's talking about, small caps, and you're starting to see things where people are talking about small caps. The talking heads are talking about small caps are going to outperform the S&P by 100% or whatever. So people are talking about, everybody knows about that. Financial services, everybody knows. So all those kind of typical things. So biotech, video games, and a short oil. The time has not come for that. Also, depending on what's going on over in Ukraine, how that's going to play out, we'll look to short wheat and some other commodities. So wheat and corn. We'll be shorting both of these, depending on what plays out in Ukraine. When the war in Ukraine broke out, the price of wheat and corn were skyrocketing. Same with palladium too, but so those were really good trades. And depending on what happens there, we'll have an opportunity to go short corn and wheat. And then also too, that would be kind of the same thing with oil, going short oil. Not to mention, we are going to be producing more oil in the U.S. and also the European Union just came out today and said we will be buying oil from the U.S. We're not going to be buying oil from Russia. So that's amazing, for us here in America. So I would assume, and with Trump's stance on oil, I would assume that we will be producing more oil here in the U.S. which would drive the cost of oil down, or at least put downward pressure on it. So that's what I'll be looking for going forward. I wonder what's going to be going on with bonds. Yeah, I'm just going to wait and see how things play out with bonds. Yeah, just going back again to Bitcoin, El Salvador's government bonds, I forget the amount that they have increased. I forget exactly, but it's a substantial amount. It was like I think I saw 60%. I can't quite recall, but it was a lot where I thought, wow. So I need to do more research on cutting the deficit, if that's going to do anything. Not that I think Trump will cut the deficit. Quite the contrary, but if Elon can pull off this government efficiency thing and get rid of some wasteful spending, and if Cynthia Lummis's bill gains some traction, then there is a chance that it could. So these are just things that I think of, and we'll see how all that plays out. Maybe I'm just kind of wishful thinking, and it very well could be. But these are just some themes going forward. For next week, mainly, super important to not force anything. Trading, you don't have to be fully invested. Well, first of all, I never am, but, well, that's not true. 90% of the time. But oftentimes a mistake that I make is after a really good week or whatever, good run, whatever the case is, and I close out most of the positions because they're all extended or hit my price targets or whatever, I immediately am looking for something else, and I'll kind of force a trade and make a mistake and give back some of those profits. And so I'll be chilling next week, maybe do some meditation. No. I'll be scouring, that's for sure. So let's go over, so we talked about some of the themes like commodities, and I love trading commodities, so I really hope there's going to be some, either way, it doesn't matter to me, but I really hope we're going to get a strong trend in commodities, because, I really like trading commodities, so strong trend down, or up, whatever, wheat, corn, oil, copper. What's been going on with nat gas? Man, that's one I've tried a couple times and have gotten stopped out a few times. This looks all right. Yeah, so this is one to watch. So let's look at some industries here and see kind of just how stretched we are. So we'll look at some ETFs here. So the S&P 500, you're getting up to the point where the risk to reward is, not good. So I would say kind of starting anything new, meaningful size here, could it work out? Yeah, of course, but the risk to reward is it's kind of more of like forcing it. So we'll go over to the Russell 2000. Let's look at that again. Same thing. Right up to kind of a previous high. Clearly, that's going to be resistance, and it already has been a little bit. Russell 2000. So go over to Dow, my beloved Dow. Again, same thing. Although with the one caveat being United Health is the largest position, and Goldman Sachs is like also one of the largest. Amgen is up there. Amgen's like number 5 or number 6 largest holding in that fund. This has now made it back over the 50-day moving average. United Health, again, this doesn't even, I mean, is maybe a little stretch, but not really. So if there's any particular index, I think Dow Jones probably looks the best. So then now let's go over to NASDAQ. I still like how this looks, which is why I'm in it still. So yeah, Nvidia looks good. Let's go over some of these tech stocks. So Nvidia looks good. Microsoft, nice. Move back over the 200-day moving average, but this is really struggling. I do know that Microsoft has they have a keep coming back to Bitcoin on this one. Sorry for anyone who doesn't care about Bitcoin, but they do have a vote coming up here in December on if they're gonna buy Bitcoin, and they should. I mean, every single shareholder should vote for that. Why? One, well, Bitcoin's the best performing asset class ever. Two, just look at MicroStrategy. Look at this company. MicroStrategy doesn't even make money. They don't even make money. They don't even turn a profit. What he does is he just buys Bitcoin and issues more shares and buys Bitcoin and leverages up on Bitcoin and raises money and corporate bonds and uses that to buy Bitcoin. And this is the best performing stock in the S&P 500 and by far, So, anyways, yeah, they should. I mean, clearly, if they should. If you're a shareholder, obviously, you would want that. Google, so we got out of these yesterday. Acted as I kind of expected it to. I try and be very careful with what I expect. One of the best quotes I heard is when I place a trade, I expect something to happen. End of the quote. And it's so true, so that way I don't want to have any of my biases. But anyways, that was an obvious point to get out. So I got out. I still think Google looks fantastic. I personally really, really like this sort of chart, a cup pattern. It's clean to the eye. It makes sense to me. Amazon has never really made sense to me. The patterns, they've always been so jagged. But Amazon all-time highs. Meta, really good recovery, I guess, after earnings. So that looks good. Let's see. Apple. That's fine. It's fine. What other stuff can we look at? Oh, let's look at home builders. That's something I haven't looked at for a while. Home builders. This is a no-go. Yeah, home builders is a no-go. I mean, of course, obviously it could work out, but that's a no-go. Alright, let's look at XBI. I wonder if there's a video game ETF. Yeah, see, this is perfect. This is what I like to see. Just kind of chilling. Just hanging out. Letting these moving averages catch up. I think this could be fantastic. Could be great. So, I'm going to wait for XBI. Maybe some video games. Take-Two. Yeah, because you'd expect this to pull back here. Wow. Yeah, you certainly expect this to pull back here. Let's look at Roblox. Yeah, see, this is an ascending wedge. I do not like these patterns. So yeah, I mean that's it. Gold really interesting what had happened. So, I mean, yes, this is a big drop, but gold's still in a massive uptrend. But then you have, gold stocks, gold miner stocks, where dropped pretty violently below the 50-day moving average. And it's kind of finding support, but you notice, the gold miners really reacted pretty poorly. So let's look at Newmont. Oh, Newmont. Wow. See, this is why if I'm bullish on the commodity, I hate doing the single stocks. My goodness, this is the largest gold mining company, and I believe it's in the S&P 500. Like, what in the heck? Gold has been on a massive tear, and they had horrible earnings. That makes 0 sense to me whatsoever. Wow. But that is right here on the 200-day moving average. That could be worth going after. It could totally be worth going after, because the risk to reward here is so easy and clearly defined to see. But anyways, that illustrates my point of, if I'm bullish on the commodity, just go along the commodity, not, So that's it. I don't know, today, winners, losers. Let's see, winners, Tesla. Jeez. Clearly you don't want to start a position here, but I mean, if Tesla stock can get rolling like it did back in the good old days, that would be so fantastic. Because you have 8% days, like 4 of them in a row, that's Tesla for you. And then let's see what else. Oh, Palantir. Yikes, look at that. What a mess. What a powerful move. That is fantastic. Wow. How cool is that? Now, if you're looking to hedge here, selling some calls was what I would do on this one. So Palantir Hood. But covered calls. I'd be selling covered calls, that's for sure. What else? So Geo is still going up. I wonder if anyone on CNBC is talking about this. Trump gets elected and the prison stock is just on a tear. Oh boy. Okay, so that one's still good. I mean, clearly the amount of money that is going into this is pretty substantial. So, it's on my watch list. That could certainly be a trade here in the future. Okay, let's go over here to some losers. Whoa! Why? Earnings, huh? Was that not good? 11.7. Wow. Well, the reaction to earnings was not good. But this is fine. This stock is still totally fine. But this was on heavy volume and a pretty awful close. But that's still fine. And then Unity Software. Man, Unity Software down 7%. Yeah, see, this is just why, rules are important. Because you never know exactly what's going to happen, but clearly this has been in a downtrend, and sure, that's broken that downtrend. But the 200-day moving average is moving down. So clearly this isn't a stock that's in high demand. So earnings or whatever, it's not surprising that you have these big down days like that. So that's why rules are super important. Let's look at energy sector and see how that has reacted to the Trumpsters. Oh, good. But man, this has just been kind of flat for a long time. But if this breaks out and moves up, again, I mean, this is a huge base, so that would be something else to go after. So, yeah, all right, well, that's it, everyone. Happy Friday. Enjoy my new advanced technology and my videos. And we'll catch you on Monday.